Hello and welcome back to the Pride Pod here on Loud and Proud Orlando. I'm your host, John Rollins, and I'm here with my friend and co-host, Luis Carlos Pineda. We got some exciting news today, Luis. It was the end of season roster announcement. So, of course, we're going to lead the show talking about that. We're going to say forever purple and goodbye to some players. There's also something very exciting happened last week where Anna Morehouse played a game for the Lionesses, so we're going to talk about that. And, of course, if you're here in the chat with us, please drop your questions. We will happily talk with you and let you know our thoughts on whatever topic you want to talk about Orlando Pride. All right, Luis, let's start off. It happened. They dropped the roster update. Give me your initial thoughts. What were you shocked? Were you surprised? Was anybody kind of surprising in this stays and goes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised with a couple of names, like for example, Cat Assman on loan. Like, I really,
Cat Aspen, I think, is on loan for like a year. Like the
yeah,
other players were loaned for like 6 months, some of them, and
yeah.
Cat Aspen happens to go for another 6 months. So I think she was here regardless.
I thought Bib was not coming back. I thought maybe Summer was not coming back. Um, but I wasn't. I mean, it was tough because, and again, with Haley gone, I didn't know where the club was gonna head towards or is gonna head towards. So I kind of felt maybe they keep Simone Charlie and Carson Pickett, but I was completely mistaken. I mean, I think I expected Amanda Allen to probably be gone, Morgan Gautrat to be gone, Lara Cat 100% be gone, Arisa Mart, unfortunately Brie Martinez. You know, I feel terrible for her. I think she's just a phenomenal talent. Just didn't pan out for Orlando. Hopefully, we'll see her back one day. At least, so I think it makes sense, those cuts, in my opinion. Obviously the one that's gonna hit us pretty heavy is the departure of Ali Watt. But I think everybody in the fandom already knew that she's going to Denver. So, but for Orlando to get rid of Carson, which was one of the top scorers this season for them, it just seems I wasn't expecting it, but in a way I do understand because I'm hoping they're bringing quality.
I think several things. It's very interesting that this news came out when Haley Carter is out. Still she's gone, and we still don't have a GM replacement. I think they're kind of I think some of these contract situations were agreed about before. I remember there's people posting comments here talking about the fact that Carson was like crying at the end of the game, looked like she was, that was kind of her last game. So they thought maybe that was going to happen for her. But I also think that we have 23 players under contract. That doesn't mean they're all going to be playing for us next season, right? We could still sell contracted players. But to not just, we've let some go, obviously. I think Carson Pickett is the only one for me that I would have said, yeah, she's probably worth bringing back. But like we said, she was struggling at left back. She was probably at best a left wing, off the bench kind of player. So not to renew her isn't totally shocking. I think it says that we're going to move in other directions or give other players in the roster more time, more minutes where she would have come on, they'll come on. Yeah, I think the rest would kind of be as expected. Simone Charlie, I like her a lot as a person, but I just don't think we saw enough in her comeback to say that she's, a real threat in NWSL. I just don't think. I think a lot of these players that we're talking about in terms of like, your Vivs or your Simone Charlies, your Larroquettes, your Brie Martinez, even like they were good for Orlando Pride a few years ago when we were a very mid-level NWSL team. I think we have higher. I think we've raised the bar, and I think that some of these players just haven't been able to reach that bar. And I think Simone Charlie is not there. I think Elise Bennett definitely. She was a short-term situation, but like the ones that went out on loan, they went out on loan for a reason, right? Maybe Brie Martinez arguably could have had more of an opportunity. I think she's the other one I could have said bring her back because I liked what I saw from her, but ultimately, at 24, 25, maybe they don't think she's, good enough to be a rotation option for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know it sounds so bad, but I think some of these. I know Morgan was already gone. La Roquette, I think she was just trying to get her papers. like,
Yeah, like the ones that were on
like
loan already.
I had hopes for Bree, but she hasn't really played a lot for
Yeah.
Carolina. So
So her loan hasn't really worked out. Like they probably said go on loan, do something, and then when you come back, and if she hasn't performed on loan, then it's like, wow.
yeah, so I mean, she went from being even a starter in some games for the Pride.
Amanda Allen never
Yeah,
looks up to the standard ever,
yeah,
really.
100%.
Arissa Mart, we never saw.
Yeah,
Morgan already we knew about. Allie we knew about. Elise Bennett was only on a 6-month temporary contract to cover Barbara's injury anyway.
and she didn't perform
So
either.
the real question marks were Simone Charlie and Carson Pickett, and both of those didn't get an extension. But we still have 23 players. Like we have a whole roster. You could go play with that team right now into the season with no changes, and I still think we'd be a top 4 or 5 team next year. I have no doubts about that. So for me, it's like, how do we improve? How do you raise the bar of the whole team, right? Like again, like I said, because we have 23 players under contract, doesn't mean that we need to keep all of them. I would like to be able to move some on, bring in other players. There's also players that might not actually be playing next year. Like, if Kylie Nadana is pregnant, we don't know unless that's been announced. That's the hearsay, right? Still at this point.
Right.
If she is, though, like then she's not going to be playing next season. So that you're out of center back. I think like left back is an issue. Carriabello has played there a lot and can be a starting left back, but we need another left back option. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Striker behind Barbara. Who else you got? Nobody right now. Wingers. I think we have an issue at wing. Maybe in some defensive mid depth. I don't like. See, this is the issue, right? We have 23 players, but I don't want to play some of them, right? Like I think there's 5 or 6 here that we need to move on from to be able to raise the bar of the squad and bring in players that are actually going to be able to compete and do stuff. Like I love Julie Doyle, but she, like we talked about last pod, she's not producing the numbers anymore. Grace Chanda is not producing numbers. Like we need goals and assists. And some of these, like again on Viv, what she bringing, off the bench, she's barely played at all. So I think we need to just sell some of these players, honestly, and use some of those funds and use those roster slots to bring in players that are actually going to contribute and make the whole squad better. Because right now we've got players that are just ineffectual, taking up space, and like other teams in the league, they don't have that as much as we do, and they're able to play more of their roster and use more of their roster, and that helps them.
Yeah. Look, I in a way agree with with you when what you just said. I do want to add though that we just need, yeah, we do have some quality there, but we also have a lot of fluff. I feel we just need, for example, everybody to pull their way, because unfortunately, what happened this season was Banda got injured and no one. It was a struggle for everybody to pull their weight equally. And I think that, getting rid of all these players that were already expected to leave, kind of in a way, it's really not so much of a surprise that Arisa Mart, Brie Martinez, Morgan, La Roquette, and Amanda Allen are gone, and Elise Ben and all of that. It's just for us to maybe go even younger and just get, um,
Yeah, I mean, young,
some,
hungry players that are pushing to get in the first team. The only one is like Simone Jackson, right? Under 21
yeah.
year old
So,
players that are hungry with high potential. I mean, Zara Shavashi would be the other one, but outside of that,
yeah, but we need, yeah, I understand, but we need, like, for example, we got Shavoshi, right? But we need, like, players are going to, when they're put on to start or to cover, for them to excel, and you could,
yeah,
just
yeah,
bring,
we need effective
now that
roster
there's no,
players.
you can
Yeah,
right now that you have, like, able to sign collegiate players, if without going to the draft and stuff like that.
well,
I will
that's what
try to
I'm
push the
saying
cream of the
is
crop.
we need
Sure.
to. Before we'd have draftees coming in and then they would push, right? In other years, we had like Summer Yates coming in and through the like, and then we've got Simone Jackson and like, where's that next, you know, where the next two or three of those to come in, and they're the young, hungry players that are going to push to be in those roster spots. But you also need, and I agree, two or three like ready to go NWSL, plug and play ready players that are actually able to be effectual and come off the bench, because like we've got McCutcheon and Luana and you've got Angelina, so that's pretty good depth, and you've got Ali Lima. So like defensive mid is like not bad. You've got like a lot of depth there of like NWSL level talent. But other positions in the team, like if we talk about striker, you've got Barbara Banda and then no one else behind her who can really perform at NWSL level and score goals in NWSL. So that's where I'm like, let's go find an NWSL striker who can actually be someone who comes off the bench in late in a game to get, so Barbara doesn't have to play 90 every game. And also when Barbara gets injured, if it happens again, knock on wood it doesn't, then she can actually come in and score goals, and our season isn't completely derailed like we saw this year. No one else could score goals. Like, I'm not saying anyone has to be as good as Barbara, but there was a huge gap between what she was producing and what anyone else was able to produce in our attack at the 9 position. And then the same thing at the wings too. Like our wings, there's no one really producing in the wings. I mean, Marta had an okay year. Jackie Ovalle, we need to see a massive step up from her, but like I want to see another star winger come into this team, potentially move Jackie Ovalle into the 10, maybe then two new wingers, and Marta's coming off the bench. Like Marta's still starting at 39 years old. Not a good thing. Like, I love her, but that's not, we shouldn't be doing that. So when are we going to bring in enough attacking talent that where we can feel like it's okay to not have Marta in the starting lineup? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we need to see Marta being part of the team, hopefully. And I think she's gonna continue one more season. But for her to also not to feel confident to play as often, we need to see
And we said that at the
Angelina.
beginning of last year, remember, Luis?
Right. We need to see
Right?
Angelina work again. We need to see Julie Dole work again if she's staying. We need to see more of a Shavoshi. We need to see more depth, how Luana is going to adapt as well. We need to see more grit from Vib. So a lot of these players need to, also pull their weight. And again, if we're getting rid of all those players, I hope the front office, and I hope whoever's coming next, they want to get, in my opinion, younger. There's a lot of talent, like in the collegiate level. Like there's this girl that I think from Utah, one of the Utah universities. I forgot the name. I think it's Utah Valley. There you go. She scored 22 goals, 2 assists. So, like, I mean, if you want to bring somebody like that, to come off the bench and just kind of what Alex Scare was, at some point, and it didn't work out because she went to Italy. But like, when it comes to midfielders too, okay, bring somebody like maybe somebody that's right now hot, like there's a girl from Georgetown University. She has 6 goals, 8 assists. I think it's Maja Lartner or something like that. I think her name is.
Yeah.
So you could bring those. I mean, those players will love to play in the NWSL and actually, start in a team like like the Orlando Pride. But these will be potential really good players, top 10, top 20 in their positions for the NCAA. I think those are the ones that we need to kind of target too. Or like you said, I also agree with that, with the fact that if there is the opportunity to get NWSL ready bench, I'm all on board because we need the most depth. Because what we saw this season was unfortunately that some of our mid, aside of McCutcheon, non-existent. Like when it comes to goal creation,
Yeah.
like Angelina, for example.
Well, I think also in other years, the salary cap, like you weren't up against it as much, right? So you could have this like wiggle room where you're able to go out and find more players because you had that availability on the salary cap. I think that's where, not to point fingers all the time, but where we're talking about your Vivs and your Grace Chandras, they're not producing anything for the team. They're not helping us at NWSL at all. We're not in Champions Cup, so that's not a factor. They can't play games in that. So for me, it's like you can't have players like that on your roster that are taking up budget when you're so tight on your roster budget in order to be able to build an effective team. We see like Rodman potentially leaving because of that. There's, we talked about before with the, ESPN um, survey they did of all of the GMs and what they'll say about the fact that the salary cap is going to cause a problem. So you have to be able to use it most effectively. Like this is not like in other years in NWSL, and I think you could get away with it a little bit. You have to be really tight with your budget and make sure you're spending the right money on the right players. So yeah, we need a winger, we need a striker, we need a left back. Like we have issues in our squad. But you have to be able to free up the wage budget to be able to go do that. Like we have 23 players right now. We've probably got a lot already of our, whatever it is, 4 million wage budget or whatever. I can't remember the number right now, but I know, we're close to a lot of that just with the players we have. So this is why I'm saying we have to make moves. We got to figure out who our GM is. And then that GM, I think, is going to come in and they might have a whole fresh take on this, right? This is a team that Haley Carter built. So the next GM might come in and go, actually, I think we should change this, and this, right? They're going to work with the coaching staff, but ultimately, if they want to change the team, they could change the team, right? They could say to Seb, I'm sorry, but I'm moving this player on. I don't want this player. We're going to do this. We're going to change here because this player's too expensive, whatever. They might have a whole different view on what players they like or don't like. We don't know. Like change
Yeah,
is scary, true, but it's different, right? This was, like I said, a team that Haley built, not the team that whoever gets the job built. So
right.
how are they gonna feel about it? What are
I
they gonna
agree.
do? Is a complete like we kind of knew what we were going into, right? We had the same roster, we had the same coach, we had the same GM. Haley leaving has thrown a real spanner in the works, and we don't know now what this team is going to look like under new leadership. Essentially, yes, the coaching staff is the same, but the person who makes these roster decisions is going to be different.
No, I agree. I mean, with that sentiment, I mean, if you give me the 23 players under contract right now, and you tell me who leaves, I could tell you right now. Look, I'm a Cat Assman. Goodbye. Grace Chanda.
Well, she's like, we'll never see her. She'll 6 months on loan and won't return. Yeah.
Yeah, Grace Chanda. À tout à l'heure. Merci beaucoup. Zara Shaboshi, stay. Angelina, look, we gotta have a tough talk, girl. Like, we have some tough discussions. If not, you gotta go too. Crone stays. Doyle, oh, it's a no for me. Corey Dyke stays. Oana stays. Simone Jackson stays. Ali Limos stays. Cosette stays. Haley stays. Kylie stays. Jackie stays. Emily stays. Rafaela is already here. Martha stays. Viv, thank you so much for your time. And Summer Yates, like a new GM can come and do that. I mean, what John is saying is completely true. It's and we gotta be prepared mentally that that could happen.
Yeah.
We just gotta see what talent we're getting when we're poaching from other teams, because there's gonna be some teams that are gonna wanna, some
Yeah.
players are gonna
Well,
wanna be in the pride.
if we sign a GM that's already in the league, they'll know a lot of the players and they might want to sign NWSL players. If we sign a GM that comes from Europe, then they might
Yeah,
be like, "Hey, I've got some players in
in
Frau
Europe.
Bundesliga, or like I was working in the WSL and I've got a bunch of players from there that I want to bring
Yeah,
over." Whatever influences, like Haley was someone that wanted the scouting network to be global and went to like China to get Banda, and like was happy to go to Mexico and look there for players that like other people weren't doing. So a lot of the time it's about where your leadership's inclined to say, do I want proven players? Am I going to go explore the markets? Am I going to buy inside my own market? I think, like I said, the salary cap is key. So we need somebody who's going to be knowledgeable about how to get a good deal done, and also understand the value of what the players are in this league, and the ones to keep and the ones to move on, and how to kind of streamline the squad. And I think we just need to trim the fat a little bit, Luis.
100%. Of all Sadwar says, I will miss Pickett. I had hopes for Simone Charlie. Yeah, I feel sad for Simone Charlie. She has a beautiful story. I
Yeah.
just think that it was a huge gamble for the pride, I feel.
I think we say this all the time, Luis, but USL I think that she's prime. I
Tampa
don't
Bay
know if another
Sun.
NWSL team will sign Simone Charlie. Maybe they will. It could happen.
Uh,
Carson
What if
Pickett, I
this?
definitely could see another NWSL club
I
signing. But
think
again, she
Pickett.
might she might go to a USL team.
I think Pickett and Charlie could easily play in the Tampa Bay Sun and be like starters and like destroy that league
Yeah.
for
I
good.
think if they don't want to make a big life change, I think that's an easy, like, hey, I just moved from Orlando to Tampa. Like it's not a major
Uh,
issue, right? I know we've seen her some of them over there supporting their fans. They know
yeah,
what it's like.
and
They've been to games.
I'll be honest with you, I think Pickett and Charlie in the USL Super League in the Tampa Bay Sun. I know the coach, Ms. Denise Shelton. She's fantastic. She's awesome. So I think they'll probably excel. I think their leadership, because they're such a young team, is gonna be way, like, it's gonna elevate them 100% for any team, I feel. Yeah, I also had hopes for Brie Martinez at one point as well. Yeah, me too. I just her injury. She had a lot of injuries this year. None of
Yeah.
them are a huge shock though, says all said words. I want to bring some bench options that Seb actually trusts to play more. I totally agree with you there. One star FC, we need a striker slash winger like yesterday. Yeah, we need somebody that can help Barbara Banda. We
Well,
can go through this again. One star FC, though she may land in Denver, I would like if we get Ali Schlegel to sign with us.
I would
Yeah, that'd
like
be
that. I think she's a real true. She's the kind of player, perfect example of like if like she can come on at 70 minutes to get Barbara a rest, so you're going to play
100%.
98. She can start a game and you'd
Yeah.
feel comfortable that she's going to get goals, like she's going to come off the bench and score. She's still effectual in this league, and also she's a real true big number 9, and we could play the way that we play really with Banda. I don't know if she has like the speed necessarily that Banda has, but she has the size and the physical attributes.
That's right. That's right. So, when it comes to the contract updates, um, we'll see what GM, what direction. Have you heard anything, John? Do you have any insight? Because there are rumors
I
around.
did talk to Haley Carter. I saw her at the U.S. Women's National Team game. We'll see where she lands. I think this week we'll probably find out what's going to happen with her in the NWSL merry-go-round, whether it's going to be here or somewhere else. Like there's all these announcements, like Rob Gale got let go from Portland. So we'll see. I think Haley's bound for bigger things. I don't know whether that's here or elsewhere, like we said before. So we're just waiting for that news to drop of where she's gonna be. But yeah, like we said, it's sad, but you can't be. I can't be mad if she's gonna leave for some other project, right? It's just like players. They come and they go, and she got us 2 trophies. So
yeah,
no one else has done that in the Pride's history. So let's
going from
no animosity.
Going from talking about a little bit about some of the roster decisions, which I think we are all on board on the decisions. I think it kind of makes sense. We just would like to personally, on a personal note, I feel we should hear more of like what kind of profile they're looking for, and for a GM, and it'd be good to know, because that'll be tremendous. Now, with that being said, we did cover the U.S. Women's National Team game the last weekend. They look solid, tremendous solid. We have some footage here. We have some pictures. Here's what Emily Sam said. I actually had better video than the U.S. National team. I don't know if they didn't plug their mic correctly, but I had like clear audio. Let's see it real quick.
Great to hear all the fans chanting my name, and just so fun to be able to represent Orlando for the national team.
Did you know Naomi was going to hand you the
I didn't get the armband. I think she handed it to Sana. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to ask you about Haley. How big a surprise was that for you, and how is the team reacting to it?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise, but I think at the end of the day, we wish the best for her, and we're excited for her. And yeah, she told all of us, and explained how that she was a little bit upset about it to obviously lead the team and stuff. But yeah, we're just happy for her. A little bit. we have some jokes about
the joking mood at this point.
But yeah, no, we can joke around a little bit, and then of course just celebrate them for winning the championship.
Yeah, so they're asking them. So when we ask questions in the press conference, because they do like a media, like they walk around and we have to chase them essentially, the questions sometimes sound muffled because of the room that they're in. It's in kind of looks like a boiler room. So you hear cleats and and water jugs, and steps. And so I cut to that because it doesn't sound good. So I don't really usually put the questions. I put the answers because people want to hear they want to hear what the players have to say. They don't really want to hear what I have to say sometimes, but that's kind of how the U.S. Women's National Team and the men's do. They do the players walk by outside the press conference where the coach does talk in the media room, but they walk and then you have to kind of chase them and record them and stuff.
Well, they call it the mix pool or whatever,
mix zone. Yeah, mix
zone. That's it.
So Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous crowd reception for Emily Sams. Emma Hayes had huge words for her. Said that she's a pleasant
I
a
have
player
that
that.
here if you want to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, right here. So we have some of her words. I don't know if we want to put all of them, but let me put
The
it.
crowd were tremendous. I said to Emily as I was putting her in, it's always fantastic when you're a player who has given so much service to a club, but the fans show appreciation like that, and for her to feel seen and valued by the fans and loved by the fans was like a really nice moment for her because she's such a great team player. And yes, she doesn't always get a lot of minutes with us, but the way she conducts herself in the environment, the way she contributes to the team and our unity, and um, just her all-round presence, like I always bring it back to she's a real credit to her parents because she's a joy to be around and someone who definitely deserved the ovation she got tonight to qualify
Yeah,
into the World Cup.
yeah. Some one of our colleagues asked, "So, what do you think about the World Cup qualification that is not being played until?"
It's very appropriate for this.
Yeah. So no, it was tremendous. I mean, the atmosphere, the fans asked for Emily, and I think Emma felt
Yeah.
forced to put her
No,
in.
she was always gonna do it.
Yeah, but
It
man,
was planned. She did that when they went to Kansas. She put Labonte in. Like she knows. Emma knows. She knows. Like she said it
yeah,
right there.
but she should put her.
She
She
said,
should have
"I'm
put
gonna
her
give you
sooner.
this moment in front of your fans for your team." She did it for her. But also, I think, and I said this before, I think Emily Sams brings such a level of intelligence and
100%.
and she is the definition of plug and play so much. I think Emma Hayes doesn't feel the need to play her that much because she knows when she does need to play her, she's solid. She's ready to go. Right. Whereas I think other players in this team aren't at that level and need time. And she's talked about it's the same with Potch with the men's side. Emma's doing this thing where she's giving minutes, she's building up the national pool with having more and more players that have minutes in the national team so that they can actually be, constructive players in the future. And I genuinely think that Emily Sams is definitely in that and like one of the top center backs on that list to the point where Emma's not worried about needing to give her a lot of minutes because she knows like as long as I bring her to camp and I'll play her here and there, she's going to be ready to go. Right. And I think once you see the likes of Emily Sonnet and other players that are kind of aging out, you're going to see more and more minutes for Emily Sams. Like I think her growth in the national team is only going one way. And I think that's great. And I think she definitely deserves to be in this team.
100%. And I thought Emma Hayes in this game, literally the goal sequences here were, she got the fast start principle kind of, you got to score first, score fast, and 67 seconds into the match, boom, it was a goal. It was a
Cat
beautiful.
Macario straight away.
Yeah,
sorry, Moultrie. Not
No,
Cat
Moultrie.
Macario.
Yeah, Olivia Moultrie. She was outstanding. Rose Lavelle also has elevated her game tremendously. Lily Real, to me, I think she's playing tremendous as well. Italy had no chance. I mean, Italy tried the first maybe 10, 15 minutes, and then literally they had a couple of chances maybe in the first half. I think they had 1v1s. And then after that, it was just all the US. The midfield control, Sam Coffey played a tremendous game, breaking up the Italian counters. So Sam Coffey was on point. She was distributing the ball perfectly, especially on the assist for the Macario goal with a brilliant through
Gervin
ball.
made that great running back tackle, like to save them from scoring.
Yeah,
Dickey had another good game. I mean, it's the U.S. women's national team. Like they're just
And then
There's so many
Emma,
good talents out there.
I love what Emma is doing with Kat Macario. Honestly, I
Yeah,
think
she's
it's,
had a really good year and not been injured.
but
Playing back to what she was before, you know.
I think Kat Macario is a tremendous player. I will love to see her
Does she
wear
want to leave
purple.
Chelsea? Does she want to come to Orlando?
I would love to see
Throw
her
the
wear purple.
bag at Cat Macario. I want to say shout out to Super Macario World on X. I enjoy they're always posting about Cat Macario. They're a
Kat
Pride fan.
Macario, not only
Um,
I enjoy her at Chelsea, and when she arrived at Chelsea, I thought
yeah,
the most exciting signings of the
she's great.
WSL.
She's a great player.
Yeah, but like
When she's
I,
on form, she's one of the best nines in the world. I think.
I think Emma is getting the best out of her. I think Emma knows what she can bring, and
Yeah,
I think
she's
there's
very
like this
dynamic.
there's like this dynamic of trust between them two,
Yeah.
you know, and I love
Cat
that.
Macario plays like she's a Brazilian number 9. You know what I mean? Like she plays like with a lot of flair and a lot of like creativity, and she just like moves wherever. She's not afraid to like go into the channels and go wide and cross it, or she's not like she does a bit of everything, right? She's a very much like a complete forward in that sense. Like she could do a bit of every role there. She's not, only one way or the other. And so I think you can play her in the 10 too, right? She's that creative. But Rose Lavelle, of course, having another good game, having just one NWSL Cup. Yeah, I mean, it was great to see everyone in town, a good crowd. I think 16,000. I feel like people were pretty happy with that. I thought it could have been better, but it was, Black Friday. And here in the 78th minute, Emily Sams comes on, Luis. That was a great moment. It was great to see.
Yeah,
And
it's a tremendous
the
moment.
crowd was chanting, "We want Sams. We
We
want
won
Sams."
Sam's. Yeah.
And Emma, I don't think we caused Emma to do it. I think it was always planned, but great to see.
Well, I just love the chuckles that they had before she kind of like they're saying they see that they're chanting your name, you
She
know.
said to her, she said, "What did she say? You just enjoy the moment, right? Just enjoy
Yeah.
this." Yeah. I think
And
that's what I love about Emma Hayes.
yeah, I
Is
think she's
she's just
awesome.
like such a player's manager, where she's like other managers would be like they might not throw them on, right? They might not care. And then to say something like that before to them to be like, hey, this like that motivates you as a player. That's like, oh, like my manager is like she said, she's being seen, right? It's like, hey, you're not
Yeah.
playing all the time, but I see you. I see how good you are.
She has a huge level of trust on her players and what they can do. And she has a really great way to lead. I mean, she did it with Chelsea and they were unstoppable. I mean, so much so, I do have a picture, which I'll bring on the next episode, because I went to the museum and I took a picture because Emma Hayes is there on there, and also you know Sam Kerr is there too. So I took a picture with her jersey. So it was fun. Honestly, it's a dream come true going there. It's a historic club. But One Star FC is completely right. It says, I really wish the same fans that show up for the national team showed up for the Pride regularly. What can we do with that? It's a
I
national
mean,
team.
clearly they are. I don't think 10,000 fans flew in right for whatever for a
No,
friendly.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are obviously like a One Star says there are obviously fans here of U.S. women's soccer or NWSL players or U.S. women's players that don't come to the Pride games, which is wild to me. But
It's just insane.
I don't understand why there's Orlando City fans that don't come to the Pride games. But that's just me. I think everyone has their level of fandom, right? That they're how much they're into it. But I think when you're a soccer fan and you don't go watch your local team, but then you like watch all of the other teams on TV, I just don't get that. Like it's kind of like to me is like only eating in all the time and never eating out. You know what I mean? It's like you just gotta like go and experience it for once, or like go out and try something, right? So I think we need to find a way to be able to get some of those fans that clearly live here and like U.S. women's soccer, but don't necessarily support Orlando Pride.
Yeah, and I just to me, it's just I see the sport as just a sport. It's soccer. I really don't see it as women or men's. To me, it's just
Yeah.
one sport.
Like the American Ultras probably traveled, but that's like it.
Right. Now, I do want to say though, I think the I mean, it was a great put out event. I think the
It was
communications
gold.
team, yeah, it was great. I mean, everything was seamless there. And the fans were just super excited to see all the stars. I also noticed covering the NWSL that a lot of fans just happen to be fans of certain players. Like there are the Rose Lavelle fans that live in Orlando, but they don't care not either about Gotham, neither nor they care about Pride. They just care that Rose Lavelle is here. Just kind of like what happened when Ashlyn Harris was here in Orlando. Like there were Ashlyn Harris's fans that they didn't give that then when she left, I saw them wearing her other colors or other teams' colors. And so there's a lot of that within the NWSL community. I've seen. I don't know if it still happens, but again, it's just the way you kind of see it. But Moultrie was amazing, dude. Moultrie was spot on.
She had a great game, and
Huge season.
as we were doing the city pod earlier tonight, I'm sure a lot of you were just watching. The U.S. Women's National Team played Italy again, this time down in Fort Lauderdale. Macario getting on the score sheet again. Jaden Shaw getting on the score sheet. A little bit of a different changeup. No Emily Sams in. She wasn't even on the bench. So I don't
Jeez.
know why that was. Maybe
Unbelievable.
they just said that was it, like goodbye for the rest of the camp. I don't know. Maybe this is wrong on FootMob. Maybe this is wrong. It could be wrong. FootMob is not
Well,
always
all I
right.
can tell you is that
But
they
yeah,
went to see Inter Miami.
she definitely didn't come on as a sub. I'll say that. Um, and I don't see her down here on the bench, so it's confusing. Yeah, they were in the Rent-A-Box Stadium for another game against Italy. I like this kind of like bring a team here and play them twice in two stadiums relatively near each other. I don't mind that. I think it's okay. But yeah, so shout out to the Erecta set, the Lego put together yourself stadium that is Chase Bank.
Elisa Thompson, what a player, dude.
She's a great player.
What a player. And she
Olivia
could have had a
Johannes.
couple of more chances in the first half. But you know what I found out? I found out Elisa Thompson, she's half Peruvian.
Oh yeah,
She's half Filipino, half
Luis, you're
Peruvian.
always wanting you want to sign another player to come play for. I think she's got higher ambitions than Peru. Sorry, buddy. I think she's already
No, I
U.S.
know,
Women's National Team
She's gonna play for
prospect.
she's gonna play for the US. I know, but I just thought that was awesome. I
Uh,
was like, wow.
there you go, another one.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Talk about players like to sign. How much is Lily Johannes? Like, can we throw some money at her? Because
Man, she's
sign her and play her in the number 10. Now we're talking.
also, I'm glad to
we're
see
talking.
Shaw right up top because it was her year. Might say.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? We are in reality, Orlando Pride is a big club in women's soccer, but we're not a massive, massive club. As much as I want to be, right now we're not, right? So I think it's going to be hard to persuade your Macarios, your Johannes's, if you're at a club like Chelsea, if you're at a club like Lyon, if you're at a club, of the very top level in Europe, those clubs it's hard to pull teams away from. I'm not saying we can't do it, but it's not always as easy, right? So I think there's a sweet spot about going for players, that are wanting to come here and play for us. I don't want to try and sign people that aren't interested in playing for Orlando Pride. And some players, they have other ambitions of clubs that they might consider bigger than ours. So I think we have to be
I
realistic
dream.
about that.
I dream of.
I'm not saying we
McCutcheon.
can't change that in the future, but it's just where we're at right now.
I dream with a McCutcheon Heaps connection.
Lindsay Heaps still there. Lindsay Heaps is, she'd be great, but she's older, right?
Yeah,
I want to sign someone young and exciting and a U.S. Women's National Team star too.
100%.
Like I've said that
Somebody better than
before.
Alex Morgan.
And you talked about where are these players, where are these fans, right? I'll tell you where they are. The Lavelle fans aren't there because we don't have a Lavelle, right? As much as I hate it, it's the truth. And we've seen it years and years in this league. Certain players are just all the 13-year-old girls or whatever love that one player and they just love her. And if she doesn't play for your team, even if she does play for your team, like with the Bell
they
Gotham
switch.
situation, they don't care. Or they will switch teams if
It
you play for an
happened- it
NWSL
happened-
team. Alex Morgan, we saw 100%.
John,
Soon as
it
she left
happened with
Orlando
Alex
Pride, they all
Morgan.
yeah, we're done with this team now.
It also happened with Sydney Leroux. I started seeing
I could
Angel
name
City
you a bunch of
jerseys.
Orlando Pride players, but I don't like it. I don't understand it. I'm never gonna be that way.
Me
but
neither.
It is the nature of the
don't care.
beast. It's not how I support the game, but it is how a lot of young women out there support the game.
Fun.
And I think that's a lot of our demographic of people that come to the games, right? So I think that having a U.S. Women's National Team star that puts butts in seats is a means to an end, right? If they're a very good player in the team, great, but also they're going to have that star pulling power. Not saying that Marsha doesn't, not saying that Barbara Banta doesn't, but we're in America, and it just seems to me that you need a Lavelle, or you need a Bethune, or you need a
Trini Rodman.
Right, you need a Rodman. You need someone that's going to be that, exciting and plays for the women's national team that brings these families, these young, fans out to watch games.
Now, glad to see Naomi Girma. I think she's much better. The game.
Naomi Girma is arguably the best center back in the world. I think it's probably
she's a beast. She's
up
a
there
beast
in the top 5 for sure.
Jordan Bug also, I think she's definitely up and coming 100%. She's one of the best.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of depth in the U.S. Women's
Emily
National
Sams
team.
it's not easy for her. I've got to say that too, right?
Yeah.
Playing for the U.S. Women's National Team is not easy because there's so much competition there.
But if you want to, let's say it's minute 75 and it's a final, World Cup final, Emily Sams is on the bench and Fox just got injured and you have to switch her.
Yeah, that's the beauty.
Bro, Sams is so solid.
Also, Sams could play left back. Sams could play D mid.
Yeah, she'll play D mid.
She'd be fine.
Yeah,
honestly, that's the thing about her. You put her in D mid, she'd be fine.
Yeah, she'll be 100%.
She'd do a job. She wouldn't be exciting at there, but she'd do a job. Anyway, that's what I think about Emily Sams. Let's move on.
The next World Cup is in Brazil, right, John?
Yeah, next World Cup's in Brazil. So
I really want to do the trip.
We'll see about getting you down there for a game to cover that. All right, England versus China, Luis. I almost fell off my seat when I saw the news that Anna Morehouse was going to be starting a game for the Lionesses. Hey, we've said a lot about Anna on this channel.
You said a lot.
I have. At the end of the day, she's another English person. And, also, I think she's got her green card, or she's on her way to becoming American as well. Just like me. I like her a lot as a person. We've talked a lot about her issues in net. Like, she's a very, very good reactionary shot stopper, but she is also sometimes a liability with her decision making or her, lack of movement or just errors that she's prone to make. And it's been pretty harsh watching her get called up for, the Lionesses all the time. And like we said, like, is she ever going to get a chance? Like, just put her in for a friendly. There was an injury to I think Tullis Joyce. I can't remember which one, but there was definitely an injury in the goalkeeping core that kind of caused maybe there to be a situation where it's like, hey, let's just put Anna in. And talk about a game that clearly it was not a difficult game for them to play. 8-0 versus China. I mean, Stanway is the defensive mid, by the way. If you didn't know, Georgia Stanway is great defensive mid. She got a hat trick. She's a defensive mid. Ella Toon got a hat trick of assists. It was an insane game. Anna made, I believe, 2 saves in this game. I think it was 2 shots on target, I think was the stat I saw for China. So technically 2 saves were made. But yeah, the main talking point for us, Anna Morehouse in the lineup for the Lionesses, gets that first game for her team. And I found a really great clip here, which I'll play right now, of her talking about how proud she was.
Clean sheet, 8 goals in Wembley in front of 75,000. So yeah, can't ask for more. 2 days ago, Serena sat me down and just told me, and yeah, she said I've just been patient, working hard, and yeah, got the debut. Just good vibes, really. Clean sheet, 8.
I mean,
Yeah, she looks so happy.
it's a great moment for her. I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah,
Proud of you.
I'm hoping that she can have a better year next year for us, because she is a really good keeper. And in 2024 she had a great season, and there was really not many mistakes at all, and she had a great year and broke records. And I think that if that's the Anna that we see in 2026, and she can be great again, awesome. And that's what I want. So I'm really hoping that this will boost her confidence and help her, and maybe she's learned some things from the England coaches to help her with some of these issues that we've seen in games. But I think she's a great person, and I genuinely didn't think this was ever going to happen. Not in like a mean way. It just didn't seem that it was going to ever happen. So I think just really excited. And I think just, she's beaming, and this is really, really great to see.
Yeah. So I'm proud of Anna. I think you can just tell in her smile. She just feels so proud to defend her colors, and that's amazing to see in a player. That's what the national team kind of motivates you. I do hopefully wish that she'll have a tremendous season next year. And I do want to add, if people from the English Federation are watching, I offer Peru as the next opponent for England.
Another opponent for slaughter.
Maybe they can
Peru if China lost 8-0.
Maybe
Peru,
they can. Look, just to give you a crazy data about Peru. Peru women's national football team beat Chile women's. Yes, November 28th. 3-1 in CONMEBOL Women's Nations League. Now, it's been 22 years
since they beat Chile.
Yep. It was their first official victory over Chile in 22 years.
So just beating the other not very good nations in South America is a challenge. Forget your Brazils and Argentinas. You're never going to beat them in that ring.
Maybe against England, they could get 15-0.
I think it's it's a rain. It's football score at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, massive congratulations to Anna. I think obviously she's putting a lot of time and effort with the England camp. I know Hannah Hampton, that won, Women's World Player of the Year, thanked her in her speech, saying, her and Keating is the other English women's national team player. She was the one who was injured, not Tella's Choice. I'm getting my nations mixed up. She's U.S. women's national team. She thanked her, Hannah Hampton, both Anna and Keating, in her speech. So it's a lot. You forget that the goalkeeping core, they're training all the time. They're doing a lot together. So Anna has been part of a winning team for a while. She just never got on the field until now.
That attacking third for England, it's tremendous. If we can get Toon to come play for the Pride.
Yeah. I don't think you're getting many of these, It's
We could get
hard. I
Ham.
would love, but
Get
Ella
Ham.
Tune's great. She's got a podcast. I love listening to her
Yeah,
podcast.
Tune's. I love Tune. I think she's great.
Yeah, Alicia
Now,
Russo. I mean, this is a world class team right here.
yeah, it's a tremendous team. Let's read some comments real quick. Is this I'm going to plan a group trip to Brazil for the 27 World Cup. That'd be awesome. Elizabeth Eads. Hey, Miss Elizabeth. Me too. It says, come right. Sketchy night buses all over the country with me. Not a good selling point. There you go. Miss Elizabeth says, I don't like her. I don't like her here. I don't know if she means
I
Anna.
think she means Anna, yeah.
Of all side words, I'm glad for her. Legit, thought it would never happen. So well said.
Yay.
She doesn't dive, says Elizabeth. She doesn't dive. I want to go to Brazil. Yeah, me too. We just gotta, if we go to Brazil, just go to the games and maybe, go to a little bar here and there. But yeah, I wouldn't go
Yeah.
to.
A nice thing about going to the Brazilian Women's World Cup is I'd watch England and USA, and I'd be like, one of these teams has a very high chance of winning it. So that would be cool.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Or the final, US versus England, then we'll be.
Yeah, then I can't lose. Then I can't lose, bro. All right, Luis. I want to say thank you to everybody, to Elizabeth, to Of All Side
85 people
Words,
today.
to One Star FC, for being here with us as we get in deep into the off season. If you have not done so, please go ahead and subscribe. If you're listening or watching later, please like the video. We get like 20 likes, and we have like 200 views usually on a video or something. So it's like 10% of you people are clicking the like. I know a lot of people watch our videos that are not subscribed as well. So please go ahead, drop a subscribe for us, drop a like on the video, leave a comment if you have any questions for us, any burning questions about the offseason, any thoughts you have on players that have been released or players we need to go after, players you want to see. Maybe you have some questions on the GM, maybe, what GM you want to see us bring in. Drop those on any social media platform and we will reply to them. You can find us on X as @LPO_podcasts. And also you can find us on Blue Sky, or you can find us as Loud and Proud Orlando on Facebook and Instagram and Threads as well. And of course, you can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you are listening on those, go ahead and give us a rating, preferably 5 stars. But everything you guys do to interact with us helps push us up the algorithm so more people find the podcast and can be part of our community. So thank you for all of you who are here. We appreciate you guys always. And yes, as Elizabeth says, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah, happy
Hope you had a
Thanksgiving.
good one.
Yeah, I forgot to say that to the city guys, but happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and hope you guys had a tremendous Thanksgiving with your families, but or your significant others. Yeah, we're gonna continue covering, so we'll see you guys next week with more Loud and Proud Orlando. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and hopefully more news coming up for the Pride. So stay tuned to all our social media accounts. And until then, Vamos Pride. Take care, guys.
Vamos Pride. See you guys.
Have a good one.